allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anyone from the public want to have some input? Okay. Hello, Herb. Treasurer's report.
Okay, I'll come up with my new hip.
We're both injured.
Walk. Not even a cane.
That's cute.
That's where you stand.
So you playing basketball next week?
I played yesterday, actually. I shot around a little bit by myself. Getting up is the hardest thing. All right, if we take out the income statement. I have a chance that he's. The first thing you'll notice is the tax levy. We got if you look at the current month actual on the left column, we received in November $189,979.68 for the second installment of the tax levy. So.
Guess we budgeted that pretty close.
I don't know, I think there is a little bit held over that we might still get back in
In March.
Yeah. The next line, interest, that's the CD interest for the month. CD laddering, pretty good sum. We go down to the expenses. Gross payroll and the health insurance and those numbers are all under budget because of the contract negotiations. So until they are finished and they're paying out the extra salaries during that time, they'll still be under budget. On the back, if you go to the building equipment, cleaning and maintenance, if you look all the way to the right column, you'll see we're 9,300 over budget. And that's due to some unexpected building-related repairs like tree removal, parking lot repairs, and cooling tower repairs. So there's some unexpected repairs that made that year to date. Anybody have any questions about anything else in that report?
There's two other items that, under expenses that seem to be much higher than what we had budgeted. The material supplies on the front page.
Yep.
And
Materials, let's start with that.
Okay.
Material supplies, there were a couple expenses like $2,000 went to replenish library card stock.
okay,
And then the processing of the books and stuff like that, there's $4,000 actually in processing fees
oh, okay,
that were unrelated fees that weren't in the budget.
okay. And then on the back, consulting fees, we didn't have anything budgeted, but we spent 1,100.
I looked into that before the meeting, and now I'm trying to remember the two things that.
Okay, so we didn't budget anything because we thought those expenses were going to be basically tied to the renovation. But actually, we ended up we've been subcontracting with Tom Cracker for some printing because.
Some work with the design
Design
software for the
software
translator.
until Luann gets up to speed with it. And then we had the industrial appraisal.
Right.
That we had done also. It was an
Okay.
additional, that was requested by the school district.
Yeah.
So those are just an additional expense. So
Okay,
it's-
thank
We
you.
do have something, we have things in the budget,
Yeah.
substantial amount of money, so it's not in danger, it's just how we allocate.
No, yeah, I was just curious what they were.
allocated the monthly expenses.
So, no, that's good, thank you.
That's what that is.
Yeah, thanks.
Are we, so building in equipment maintenance is obviously just set up quite a bit over budget. Is that a concern for the rest of the year, or?
It may, at the end of the year, it may end up being under budget, like on budget or
Oh, okay.
maybe a little bit over, who knows? It depends on what the rest of the year. I think a lot of the things that go in that area are somewhat unexpected anyway. So, but we have a lot of money still in the two categories that aren't showing here. The, what are those two categories? The
Capital reserve.
and the other,
improvement.
capital improvement. So these things could some of them could go in capital improvement, I think, probably, like the tower repair, if we wanted to, we could fit there.
A lot of things could be done.
Yeah.
I think when we get a new treasurer, one of the things in Carol Bell never wanted to present the financials this way, but giving you a column of the actual annual budget, so you can see where the month to month really is irrelevant as to how the expenses are falling on a monthly basis. What's relevant is really our year to date.
Yeah.
And then year to date with regard to relationship to what we budgeted for the year.
Yeah, I don't see what our budget, our yearly budget for this is, but I'm guessing it's pretty close to we're probably almost at the building and maintenance. But I guess it's, you know, if they're unexpected, like, we have to do it, so it's.
Building and maintenance, our
Like, there's
annual
not much
budget
we
for
can
that
do.
is $30,000.
Okay.
So if you were to see what the annual budget is, it would, I think, answer a lot of questions and alleviate some of the concerns as to
Yeah, if we had a
where
column
stand.
for the
So if I
full
were
budget.
to put that in there, Carol never wanted me to do that, so I thought maybe I'd address it with the new
Yeah, I think that makes
treasurer
sense,
and-
yeah.
I even would go a step further. I'd put that column you're talking about, and then I'd convert it into a percentage of the annual budget, you know?
Well, you know what,
So-
I would discuss it with the new treasurer.
That's what I
Hope
would
to,
rather
yeah,
make changes.
Yeah.
and
Good idea.
Yeah, and the overall budget, you know, we're doing very well, so, but again, was just, you know.
Right, but some of that will change in the end of the
Yeah.
contract.
Yeah, but I was just curious what they were, for those particular.
Any other questions on the report?
No, looks good, thank you.
As always, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes, I do, actually. We have two of them, I think. Two of them. One is like.
Okay, everyone have a chance to look at the check registry as well? Speaking of which, I don't know if I can sign checks this month, now that I'm thinking about it.
And I've got them here, but Herb is your vice
Okay.
president and Caitlin, right?
All right, looks like
We
you
can
guys might
sign.
have to split them.
Do you want me to give them to you during the meeting, or?
Sure.
Okay, yep. Okay.
I've tried to sign with my left hand.
Oh.
It's not pretty.
What happened?
I broke it playing soccer.
In the snow?
In the snow, yes. Don't play soccer in the snow, on the ice.
Thank
Brian?
Oh, thank you.
Brian, I did have one question
Yes.
on the register.
Yep.
This is for the October one. Just again, you know, just trying to get understanding. But there was a check to the town of Guilderland for $441.12. Staff fee, drug take-back day.
Yes,
And I'm not familiar with what that is.
okay, so the Drug Take Back Day is a twice-a-year program.
Yeah.
Takes place in the staff lot, and it's run almost entirely by the police department.
Yeah, that I'm familiar with, but
Yep.
what is the payment for?
It's for one of the two officers' time, so
Oh, okay.
that's the arrangement we have with them. So they provide two officers, and we pay the time for one of them.
Oh, okay, didn't know that.
Maybe with the new police chief, I could get that. Oh.
I didn't realize, I thought the police did it and we provided the lot to them.
We have another board member who questions why we need to pay the town for that, but
Yeah,
when I called the previous police chief, or actually the current police chief, he said, well, we have a budget to meet too, and, you know.
but isn't it their program and we just provide the lot to them or not?
No, it's a community program, and they don't take an officer off of what they have for regular staffing, so it's
So they-
overtime,
it's
so
overtime,
it has to be
okay.
paid by someone, and so it's usually a community organization that takes it up. If there was a community coalition in Guilderland for drug prevention, they would probably do it, but there is not that I'm aware of,
Okay.
so.
Do they need two officers to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets crowded at times,
Mhm.
so, okay, thank you.
And this one is very popular. One of my friends works for the DEA, and she says she always has to bring extra things here to the library location specifically.
Typically, they get 800 to 1,000 pounds of drugs. That includes, of course, the containers, the plastic bags, and the prescription bottles and so forth that people bring in. It's a lot of drugs.
And we don't get a share of that.
No.
Alright, so is there a motion to accept the check registry?
I will make a motion to approve the treasurer's report for November 2019 and the check register for December 2019.
Motion by Caitlin, second by Barry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is unanimously adopted. So we'll move to committee reports. Long-range planning.
We did not have a meeting this month. We'll get back on the track in January.
Perfect, thank you. Design, I think Tim will handle that, if it's okay
Sure.
with Jason.
Okay. Actually, Paul Mays and architect Megan Brennan were scheduled to be here tonight to give you guys an update on the project, but they're not here because there's not that much to update you on. So where we stand right now is that the pre-scheduled purpose of their coming to this board meeting was that we had hoped to be finalizing our contract with Turner Engineering at this board meeting. It needed a review by our law firm and our insurance consultant, and also by myself, Margaret, and Carol. And we're mostly done with that review, but not done enough to recommend signing it, in part because there are no dollar figures in it yet for the cost of the engineering or construction management services from Turner. And those are to come in a conference call that possibly will happen in December, or possibly in early January. But our target is to bring that contract to you ready to review as soon as possible in January, so that at the January 16th board meeting, we can get that done, and then Paul Mays would come and update you, Paul or Megan. Now, I think I might have mentioned this last time, but Paul is like the executive on the project now, and Megan is the actual architect working on it, Megan Brennan. So that's kind of, and they've both been here a couple times in the last month to meet further with staff and kind of finalize the designs of office areas. That's basically it for the design, unless anyone, of course, has questions.
Okay. Moving on to finance.
We did not meet. We had our first meeting for the new budget scheduled immediately prior to the January board meeting at 6 p.m. in this room. And we have the second one also scheduled for 2 weeks after that. Margaret's been fantastic, so we're about every 2 weeks, starting in January until the budget.
Perfect. All right, great. Thank you very much.
You're
Look
welcome.
forward to your great work there. Personnel, labor management. I think this will all get kicked to executive session as it has to relate to the contract. Hopefully Barbara will be here by then. So then we'll move on to policy.
Policy, we got together and we implemented or updated the no smoking, vaping policy. I think you guys noticed the sign outside. We changed a few wording. You can't be smoking or vaping within 100 feet of the Guilderland Public Library. And you sent a list today of policies that I think we were reviewing. So we have to set up a meeting in January. I'll be setting that up after the holiday, hopefully before the next meeting.
That's great. So because we presented the no smoking at last meeting, it's been 30 days, so we can vote on it at this meeting. So we can vote to adopt that. Is there a motion to?
I make a motion to adopt the no smoking policy as presented.
Seconded by Phil. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, unanimously adopted. All right, Herb, UHLS.
Okay, there was no meeting this month. You do have in your kit the copy of the ULON agreement, which is submitted for your approval. The last page has the fees for 2022, the 20 ULON fee, and then the others are to be determined. There are no names next to it, but as far as I can tell, the fee for Guilderland would be the $36,270.
I think you're right. I looked at it a while back, but,
Because the first one is Albany, the next large one is Colony, and the third large one is East Greenbush, Alphabet.
So I think you said some of the libraries had a problem with the agreement. Do you share any of their concerns, or?
No, I don't. The Albany just had a problem with confidentiality. I'm not sure exactly where they were coming from, but that was their problem. And East Greenbush's problem was that they were a receiver library for books coming back from neighboring libraries that were smaller, because their library is more central, easier to get to, and had longer hours. So that would cost them more money according to the formulas. But, you know, they are willing to accept the, at least for the next year, with the fees subsequent to that, to be looked at again and see if it's possible that even a fairer and more equitable distribution could be arrived at.
now, once people vote on the policy, we need to get it signed. And I don't know if you can't sign it.
I can.
Okay.
It's not pretty, but I can do it.
Okay. So,
You need a stamp,
Yeah,
signature stamp.
that's what I should do. So, is there a motion to approve the ULON agreement?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to
Motion by
approve the
Herb.
ULON agreement.
Seconded by Barry. All those in favor?
Was there any discussion?
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. Okay, thank you, Herb. Director and staff report.
okay,
Foundation, or is it just?
yeah, he's not here. Yeah.
It's not in the foundation, didn't meet
Yeah,
today.
okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, try to make it quick. Like many of our staff members, I was pleased to go to the NILA conference in Saratoga in November, and a real highlight for me of my career here so far was being able to give Pat Fahey the Senator Hugh Farley Outstanding Advocate for Libraries Award at the banquet on Friday night. She was very grateful. She was so grateful that she wrote me a handwritten note of thanks, and then she remained so grateful that she wrote me another one a week later.
And then she put it in her newsletter.
Yeah, she did. She put it in her newsletter. Thank you, Herb. So that was great. I don't want to read what's in my report. You have access to that. Some other things mentioned briefly in Margaret's report. There was a health incident here where a patron had a seizure, and we had 3 staff members who responded very, very well. Ann Wemple-Person, Kathy Earle, and Lisa Silver. And the gentleman is okay, and so all's well that ends well, I guess. But do a lot of training on that kind of thing with the Guilderland Police Department, and it paid off. Also want to highlight that our social media presence continues to grow, and we're the 3rd largest library in the region after, I believe, Albany and Schenectady, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, so ahead of some of the typical competition with whom we're head-to-head, like Colony and Bethlehem. We have worked with the town a little bit at their request to tone down the nighttime brightness of the electronic sign. Had some good results with that, we think. And the column I wrote on ebooks for our town was reprinted in both the Spotlight and the Enterprise, and everywhere I go, someone mentions it to me. So that's kind of a good thing that people are so interested in ebooks. I want to congratulate librarian Christina Ronald for a very successful board game program. I believe it was last Friday night. Elderberg room was packed with people playing board games. And then Sean, who's over here, for a great Cut the Cord program this week that had, I think, 43 people at it, where people learn how to become less dependent on cable TV. The last 2 things I want to say, I'm sorry? Okay, thought I heard somebody. The last two things I want to say are not in my report, but I want to let you all know that we are debuting a streaming service as one of our services in January. It's a service called RB Digital, and patrons will be able to stream the following types of things on their phones, tablets, computers, and new smart TVs. So RB Digital, it has access to Acorn TV, which is all the British shows.
And Australian.
And Australian, thank you. And IndieFlix, independent films and documentaries. Quello, which is concerts, really big concerts, you know, things like Springsteen at Madison Square Garden and so forth. And the great courses, so people have access to those starting in January. And also congratulate librarian Maria Buell, who got a $1,000 grant for a senior writing program that she's implementing at the Beverwick and Atria Guilderland. So while those are both in the future, they're timely because they were kind of happening this week, so I wanted to mention that. So.
Buffalo also, it has a big interest in the e-books. There was an article
I saw you sent me. Yep.
About the e-books.
People are very interested in them, by the same and at the same time, you know, print remains popular. You know, some people go all one way, some go all the other way, some do both. You know, so.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the director and staff report?
I will make a motion to accept the directors and staff reports for November 2019.
All right. Seconded by Noreen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, unanimously adopted. Old business. So I sent around a doodle poll for the April 2020 meeting, and we're going to go with April 9th. I sent you an email, Barry. You got
I
it?
responded
Okay.
to it, yeah.
Oh, sorry. So that's, I think, almost everyone can go. So thank you for.
What is April 9th?
Good Thursday. I think most of the days.
Probably the second Thursday,
Yeah.
Yeah, second night of
mathematically speaking.
Passover.
So I don't particularly like doing the meetings on Jewish holidays, but as it's the only day that everyone else, it seemed like everyone else could do, we're going to do it. So, so Jenna, I guess I'll let you know, and then I don't know, change it on the website or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. New business. Any new business? We are flying through this meeting. Okay. All right.
Something?
What's that? Yes.
New treasurer, just wondered if there's any update on that?
Yes. I just have to.
I'm okay if I keep
No.
going.
I just have to connect with the guy. We've emailed back and forth, and I'm hopeful that by the January meeting we can interview him. And I'm sure he's great. We just want to sit down with him, make sure that he knows the expectation, and then you'll be free.
So should I go to the meeting for the new contract, at least for the first meeting or so? Then I'm gonna-
I would say yes. Yeah.
Gotta make it-
Maybe I should also have you come to our meeting too. So you can kind of tell the guy what it's like. Okay. Perfect. So yeah. Hopefully at our January meeting.
That's okay, yeah. I really was more for, it's not these meetings, but I think the treasurer should be at the meetings, for the finance meetings
For the budget, right? Yeah.
Actually, I was hoping to have him meet before that meeting so we could interview and then could just come see what it's like. So
Yeah.
that's also my goal.
Okay.
Is that the person I forwarded to you?
Yes.
Just to let you know, he is leaving Sunday for a week vacation down in Florida. He's had enough of the winter.
Don't blame
But,
me.
I mean, he'll be gone just for a week, so.
Perfect. I wasn't planning to do anything until after
Yeah,
the New Year
okay.
anyway. So.
I didn't know when, but
Yeah.
Very, I have to note he's had enough of the weather, but he's had none of the winter. It hasn't started yet, so, you know. Just saying.
The interview on Christmas morning.
Yeah, not on my birthday.
he'll be in Florida. Oh, you can go to Florida and interview him.
Well, it's not a bad idea. Okay, so minutes of our last board meeting. I'm sure took a close look at them. Barbara? Barbara moved to adopt them. Seconded by Phil. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Noreen has to abstain.
Irene is abstaining.
Abstain.
Okay, everyone else voted for them, so passed. All right, so motion, I will entertain a motion to enter into executive session to discuss collective, I'll give you this, collective negotiations pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law with the CSCA union and to discuss the hiring of an employee. Motion by Barry, second by Phil. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Adopted.
Want to make my life easy?